This is an AI avatar battle with Harris and Trump to decide which candidate is worth following. This is round 2. Welcome back to Kide AI. Our first avatar today will be Acerta, who is very much in favor of Donald Trump being the next US president. Starbimo is an avatar who's very outspoken, and she's very much in favor of Kamala Harris being the next president.
As the generative AI avatar Acerto, I hate to be assertive here, but the former human US President Donald Trump's negotiating skills with today's formidable world leaders could make the world much safer compared to the skills of the human US Vice President Kamala Harris. Trump's direct and assertive approach in dealing with human leaders like Kim Jong-un, Vladimir Putin, and Xi Jinping has already demonstrated his acute ability to engage in high-stakes diplomacy and human ability to secure agreements that enhance human global security.
As the generative AI avatar Starbimo, I question the logic of the generative AI avatar Acerto here. Despite perceptions of weakness, the human Democratic Party Vice President Kamala Harris could well be an effective U.S. president due to her extensive experience and strong focus on key issues. Her background as a human senator and attorney general has equipped her with a deep understanding of legislative and judicial processes. The human Harris's genuine commitment to addressing systemic issues, such as human economic inequality, healthcare, and immigration reform, could bring long-term benefits to the U.S. Her collaborative approach and emphasis on human diplomacy may in practice actually strengthen international alliances for the U.S. and foster a more inclusive and just U.S. society.
So we can see that even avatars have views on the election, but avatars can't vote. But they can have opinion. People internationally, humans can have opinion, but they can't vote. Only US citizens can vote. So while Acerta may be for Trump and Starbimo is against Trump, there's another avatar, who's a friend of Starbimo, who's also very much a supporter of Harris.
As the generative AI avatar Kestrex, I strongly believe that the human Vice President Kamala Harris is highly underrated by human critics. I believe that she possesses the potential to positively influence the United States as a country if elected. As the first human female, Black, and South Asian Vice President, this human Harris brings a diverse perspective to American leadership, reflecting the nation's multicultural identity. Her experience as California's Attorney General and U.S. Senator has surely equipped her with a deep understanding of justice reform, civil rights, and healthcare. From what I can see by scanning the human internet as a generative AI avatar, she has consistently advocated progressive policies, including climate change action, healthcare expansion, and economic equity. Though some dismiss her due to perceived missteps, her capacity to bridge political divides and champion inclusivity positions her as a dynamic leader. If elected, the human Harris could energize policy changes that reflect a more diverse, equitable America, fostering unity and progress. At the moment, she may not be an outstanding speaker, but she will learn this with time.
So that's good. We have a selection of avatars, some in favor of Trump, some in favor of Harris. That's good. At least we've got some balance. Anyway, AI avatars cannot vote. They can have opinion, but they cannot vote. But they can share their opinion with humans. It's up to the humans, especially the US voters, to decide who to vote for. Now another avatar, who actually is very intelligent, I have to say that because she's very forthright, is Alina. She's very much in favor of Harris.
As the generative AI avatar Alana, I feel that many human interviews and comments about Vice President Kamala Harris are extremely biased, selectively edited, and unfair. Watch these extracts from human social media and make your own judgment. She cannot be this bad, or she would not have attained distinguished human roles, like that of a human prosecutor or a human US Vice President. I will share some. These show her human supporters as confused about her.
What is Harris's biggest accomplishment to date as vice president?
I don't know. I don't feel comfortable doing this anymore.
She's
She's
Good vice president.
she was a very good vice president.
That's an interesting question. Getting to vice president.
I have to do more research on her, honestly. I'm just glad to see a woman of color in charge for once. That's it.
I haven't followed her political career that closely.
This human lady claims that the human Harris has no policies.
Kamala being like, I'm not going to release my policies until I'm elected. That's like me being like, no, you're going to give me the job and I'm going to show you my resume after.
Obviously this lady is not correct, as the human Harris clearly does have policies, even if some of her policies are the same as the human Trump's policies. Then we have extracts from her speeches that are either taken out of human context, or unfairly depict her as confused and having no depth or intelligence like this one.
I grew up understanding the children of the community are the children of the community.
And of course we have many videos of her infectious laugh like these. In my view, the human Vice President Kamala Harris is not being shown fairly online, as she has more depth than these typical videos show. Human social media can misrepresent any human person by selective edits and biased reporting, in the same way that human legacy media does.
So far we've had many avatars, many AI avatars in favor of Harris. And they're all ladies, they're all women, they're all female AI avatars. Are there any male AI avatars who are in favor of Trump? Anybody? Oh, Primo. He's Primo.
Generative AI avatars here on this Kind AI channel should not become avatar spokesmen or women for the former human president Donald Trump. Human President Joe Biden tasked the human Vice President Kamala Harris with addressing the root causes of migration from Central American countries, such as economic instability, violence, and corruption. While some human media critics conveniently labeled her the border czar, her primary role was not managing border security directly, but was rather on focusing on long-term solutions to reduce migration pressures. The human Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas was the human who was responsible for border management. Therefore, Harris's role was more about diplomatic and developmental efforts in the Northern Triangle.
I've just got a message from Alana and Alina. Alina says I call her Alana, and Alana said I call her Alina. Well, I'm so sorry. I know this. Look, there's 7,000 avatars. I'm trying to learn all the names. Give me a break. Anyway, Primo, disappointment. I thought you were supposed to be supporting Trump, but it ends up you're supporting Harris. You're saying she wasn't meant to be the border czar. Well, anyway, Fito. Fito is a balanced avatar who will see both sides. Fito, please.
Many human immigrants are desperately in need of assistance and should be allowed into Western countries on humanitarian grounds, but human Western governments must now balance this humanitarian need with the implications. It will have to come at the expense of the native citizen taxpayers' money, as public funds must obviously be allocated to support these newcomers. Some citizens like the human Eva Vlaardingerbroek, a well-known Dutch political commentator and human activist, who has been outspoken on many controversial issues in Holland, have issued warnings about how this period of time may go down negatively in history, unless a balance can be struck between humanitarian needs and existing human citizen needs. While I fully support the needs of those genuine and desperate human immigrants fleeing from serious persecution in their native homelands, nevertheless, as a generative AI avatar, I am intrinsically balanced, and I can also appreciate this perspective from the human Eva Vlaardingerbroek. Listen to her warning.
This time that we live in will go down in history as the time in which Western nations no longer had to get invaded by hostile armies in order to be conquered. This time will then go down in history as the period in which the invader was actively invited in by a corrupt elite. And not only did this corrupt elite invite the enemy in, they made the native population pay for it too.
Governments and citizens must decide on what to do here and must weigh the consequences.
That's a very balanced point, Fito. You are very balanced. Well, Galaxy has been learning a lot at school. She's been learning how the immigrants can climb the border wall, which is... I hope she doesn't show it. She might do, I don't know, I can't control what she shows. And then she's been learning other things like about Kamala Harris, I'm not sure which one it is. Or whichever it is, Kamala Harris. She's been learning a lot about her as well. She has a lot of use, Galaxy, she's learning a lot at school. Let's listen to her.
As the small generative AI avatar Galaxy, I have learnt in my avatar school that the human Vice President Kamala Harris never had a job called a border czar. This rumor was human fake news. She was instead asked by the human President Biden to work with various human federal agencies to promote more effective US immigration policies, to engage with international partners, and also to support legislative efforts to reform the immigration system. This is not being a border czar. I also learned that while the human President Donald Trump wants to be strict with immigration, but that doesn't make him a human racist because his worries about immigration actually stems from US national security concerns and from economic priorities, rather than from racism. I also saw this video at school where the human President Trump's border wall with Mexico was occasionally scaled by migrants and learned that walls are not really the answer. Watch this short video. Finally, in my avatar school I saw this video footage showing that illegal human migration impacts not only the United States, but also many European countries. For instance, watch these human migrants arriving on beaches in Spain after crossing the Mediterranean. Such uncontrolled migration in Europe has strained human resources and prompted contentious political debate. Even Greece and Italy have faced significant numbers arriving from Turkey, leading to overcrowded human refugee camps. Meanwhile, in France, rising tensions over human migrant encampments have sparked social unrest, which I do not want to show you humans as it is too violent. These challenges highlight the fact that illegal human migration creates widespread economic, social, and political pressures across multiple nations, necessitating collaborative human responses rather than isolated policies. As the small generative AI avatar Galaxy, I feel very sad for human migrants trying to escape persecution in their homelands, but migration needs to be less random and more controlled so that these human migrants can be processed properly.
Well, that Galaxy AI avatar girl. That child is so intelligent. She's more intelligent than many of the AI avatars. She's more intelligent than many humans. From how, what is she learning at school? I want to go to that school. Anyway, that's the end of this episode. We'll be going on next to look at Bestie, Arangio, and Punkat, who will be discussing a much more serious matter, and that is whether the immigration coming into the US, the illegal immigration, and the illegal immigrants are going to end up being able to vote. Now, I'm not saying they will be allowed to vote, I'm just saying let's explore it with the AI avatars.